Welcome to the Skeptically Speaking podcast show. Thank you so much for tuning in, not tuning out. We appreciate you. If you want more independent media in your life, please consider supporting the show. You can do that in one of three ways: Cash App, Venmo, or become a Patreon subscriber. We would love to have you. Don't forget, Juneteenth is coming, right around the corner. And of course, it's see-through because it's green. So, loving it. Anything, you know what? If it pisses off the feral MAGA delusionals, I am okay with it. Let's do it. But what a Pond Scum of a show we have for you today. But if you like more independent media in your life, don't forget, please support the show. We need that support. We want to do this full time, not just in our spare time. And don't forget, YouTube is not the only place you can find us. You can also find us in many places like TikTok, Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, Kick, Rumble, Twitch, Twitter, Substack, and in case you missed it, Up Yours. But people also refer to it as Upscroll. I'm having my doubts as to whether it's going to become a viable social media community, but you know, I've been wrong before. Guess what? I'll be wrong again. Wow. How are you doing, Sweet Pea?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing, Space Skeptical?
Having the time of my life. I'm literally fortified with the Old English 800. Speaking of Old English, off topic, but I heard the Scots came over here to Boston for a game, I guess, an event. Literally drank Boston dry. There were bars that had nothing. They drank all of the craft, all of the microbreweries, all of the, you know, name brand. The only thing that was left was like Bud Light in most places. I mean, when I say they drank. Oh my God. We'll probably include a video in another show.
What can I say? Us Celts can hold our liquor.
I mean, I can't say anything against it because, I mean, I'm out of my depth. Here I am getting a moderate blush from Old English. And it is a savory beer. It's not one of those, I mean, I'm sorry, Bud Light. If you're drinking Bud Light, I'm sorry. I mean, that is piss water is what it is. I mean, you might as well be drinking Michelob Ultra or something. Just, ugh. But I'll tell you what, this show, I'm probably going to have to get a refill because this is just ridiculous. The Pond Scum of an administration is what we have. They have managed to turn the entire reflecting pool green with algae due to their inept incompetence. This is just absolutely ridiculous. And I'm just going to let social media just dunk the shit all over this administration because I think they do it better than even I could. But this is just ridiculous. The reflecting pool.
I was just going to say, between the darker color change, the sun, the humidity, the fact that they haven't properly fixed the filtration system, let alone the leaks, which are going to cause structural damage and sinkholes in the future if those leaks are not sort of addressed and fixed. There is going to be cause for algae blooms, you know, to come this time of year. They've done a very surface repair they've done a worse job than a dollar store Bob the Builder uh, on it. You know, at least with Bob the Builder, he got some of the stuff he was fixing fixed. This administration hasn't fixed the problem. Like I said yesterday, they've exacerbated the problem and they've made it worse.
Well,
And they are
and I
now
also want to say this: Donald Trump was in charge of this project. He picked out. Don't forget, he picked out the color that it was going to be painted, the contractor. He decided he was going to just pick everybody that was involved, and he didn't even consult federal agencies whose job is to find the best people for the job. He couldn't even do that
no, well
much.
and that's why we need no bid contracts. Now, the Trump and his administration are already trying to blame Obama for the reflecting pool,
That's no
which
joke.
I think is, yeah, you can't make this stuff up.
Literally had Obama's name in his motherfucking mouth. Blamed Obama for it. These people, they can't take any accountability at all. They don't. If you had to guess, how old would you say this reflecting pool is?
I would guess it's about 60, maybe 70, could be 80 years old.
I'll give you a hint. It was built in 1921.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. 1921. They
100
figured
years then.
out. Well, okay, it was finished by 1922. But here's the thing. They figured out way back when how this should be done, how to keep the water somewhat clean, how to keep it, reflecting. I mean, of course water will reflect anything no matter how well, unless there's just scum over the top of the water. That's a whole nother issue. But yeah, I mean, all they had to do is consult the people that know this pool inside and out. They know how it works. They know what the best practices are on keeping it clean. And of course, these MAGAs are so stupid and idiotic. They think they know everything. They think they don't have to consult with anybody because to admit that you don't know something, well, that's weakness. We can't do that. What total fucking cockwombles. Every single last one. Yeah, well, you know what? I think it's time for Donald Trump's, or the Trump administration's theme song.
Cunt, cunt, you're a cunt, you are a cunt, yeah, you're a cunt, 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 you are a cunt. You're a cunt, 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 you are a cunt. You're a cunt, 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 you are a cunt. You're a cunt, 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 you are a cunt. You're a cunt, 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 you are a cunt. You're a cunt, 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 cunt.
Bravo. I couldn't have said it any better. Now, if there's any question, about that, and of course they're already blaming Obama for it. Already blaming Obama. Here we have the headline right here. Let's see. Blame it on Biden. Yeah, Trump administration. This is from U.S. Politics. Blames Obama after blue reflecting pool turns green after the $14 million refurb. They spent $14 million on this. $14 million for this to look like shit. I have seen cleaner pool. Let me show you. Let me see if I can find it. Here's a pool for you. Yeah, that's right. That's a pig farm. And they
Aw.
hooked up a water slide so that the pigs can just go in a circle and just keep going down the water slide. I've seen other pictures. That water looked cleaner than this shit we've got here at Washington D.C. of all places. If you are not embarrassed, I really don't know what to say. You know, meme of the day. Unfortunately, scum still remains in the reflecting pool and the White House. Yes, correct. Yeah, right after the refurb, $14 million, and then they're sending these guys out to what do you think you're going to do? You're going to collect every little bit of algae by sending guys out there and waiters. You know, oh my god. And of course, their idea of fixing it is, oh, I know, we're gonna use hydrogen peroxide, and that'll take care of it. Look at this. They did the entire perimeter of the pool, and look at all the algae in the middle. It's like a perfect ring around the rosy. Scientists actually got on Twitter and said, look, in order for this to actually work, you need quadruple the amount that they're using. And it would take and it would only last you a few days, even if you did it right. You know, assholes. You know, hey, well, but you got to admit, the blue bottom really makes that algae pop. Yes, indeed. I swear to God. And it's just been one lampoon after the other, you know? Creature from the Green Lagoon. Might as well. It's just so sad. But you know what? I'm gonna let our friends and neighbors on TikTok just dunk on this shit.
Gross. It's kind of nasty. So that's currently what the reflecting pool that Donald Trump spent almost $20 million painting looks like right now. They're getting algae out of it, which is what I thought we were trying to keep from happening. And this is what the pool currently looks like. Funny thing is, it doesn't look any better than it ever did. Here's the pool just last year. Looks good. And hell, here's the pool several years ago. Looks pretty blue there. Looks pretty clean there. But let's go ahead and spend $20 million for no fucking good reason to paint it American flag blue? Is that what we're calling this, Donnie? That's what he said it was.
This is American flag blue if I've ever seen it. Trump did an amazing job. He did an amazing job. This is exactly what the people wanted. We wanted our reflecting pool to be American flag blue. We don't want it to go back when Obama and Biden were president and it was filled with algae and it looked like a swamp. Drain the swamp. Drain the swamp. American flag blue. That's what he gave us. On a serious note, though, it's honestly so funny that we could have predicted this. We literally could have predicted this. We already knew him spending all of that money was never going to do anything. It was all about a look. It was all about wasting money. And honestly, we all know. Do I even got to say it? Do I even got to say it? We all probably know where that went. Let's be real. That's all these things are, is just a big distraction and a way to just pocket it. Yeah. This is so disgusting. What a waste of fucking money and time.
You know something interesting? You're never going to guess the company that they hired to fix this. You'll never guess. Green Water Solutions is the name of the company that they hired to clean out that pool. The jokes write themselves. I mean, you can't get any. You can't get any more on the nose than that. Well done. It's as if The Onion was in charge of this project. It's like a satire project. It's like something you do as a Saturday Night Live skit.
It's a vanity project, an excuse to get more money out of people.
Yeah.
It's so nice that they filled it back up with algae for the ducks. Look at them swimming around in that slop. So cute. It's so nice that they filled it back up with algae for the ducks. Look at them swimming around in that slop. So cute.
I mean,
Those poor ducks.
yeah. I mean, can you imagine having the wildlife having to be tested for whatever? It's ugh. I know several years ago there was a certain weird water snail that was growing in water and it was attacking wildlife. And they shut it down, drained it, treated the pool. But that was several years ago. Now? God damn.
The newly renovated reflecting pool, which was painted American flag blue, turned green with algae over the weekend.
Holy shit! That pool is green. Looks like there was a Grinch orgy in it. Looks like the bathtub where Kermit slit his wrists. Looks like the Statue of Liberty's placenta in there, am I right? No? Thank you. I guilted you into it. Thank you. Well, look, they put $14 million into building a state-of-the-art system for keeping this pool clean. I bet we're going to see some pretty high-tech solutions kick in any minute.
You can see the folks standing at the end. They're dumping jugs of some kind of a liquid into the water of the reflecting pool.
Sure. Just dump in gallons of hydrogen peroxide. Just love that, guys. First thought, best thought. That's what I always say. Well, you know what? As someone who's tried to clean a humidifier the same way, might I recommend just buying a new reflecting pool at Target? The funny thing about this story is that no one would have cared what the pool looked like if Donald Trump hadn't made it a centerpiece of the MAGA agenda for some reason. But he did, which means that the people who believe in the MAGA agenda, people like right-wing radio host Grant Stinchfield, they're going to have some interesting ideas about how this all happened.
There's algae in here again. I feel like it's sabotage.
Oh, God. Just please tell me we're not doing a reflecting pool conspiracy theory. Just please tell me we're not doing a reflecting pool conspiracy theory.
I mean, they had just literally fixed this. You would not have that quickly unless somebody did something. I'm telling you, I think they want Trump to fail so badly that they'll come out here and do anything.
I think so. I agree with you.
As proud as I was of President Trump for finally getting this thing fixed, we're back to green. And again, is it nefarious? I tend to think so.
Okay. I guess it is nefarious if you think about it, and then you don't think about it. And if you don't think about it, algae sounds a lot like Al-Qaeda, huh? I mean, how deep does this thing go? My sources are telling me like about a foot or a foot and a half, but I mean, Grant, so what are we missing here?
I still think it may have been sabotage, even though the National Park Service comes out and says, no, it's not sabotage. They say it was algae residue left over in the pipes. What if the bureaucrats left it over in the pipes on purpose? We know that those inside government don't like President Trump.
Yes, of course. Those pesky bureaucrats jumped into the pipes to leave algae in there. I believe we have surveillance video of that happening. Yeah. Yeah. This is the beauty of the MAGAverse. Donald Trump is never too corrupt or incompetent for the job. If you always come up with a new layer of bad guy to blame the problems on. So I know the deep state photosynthesis theory sounds dopey, but so did rigged election at first, and look where that got us. Before you know it, these guys are going to be doing January 6th in the reflecting pool. Just splashing around chanting, "Dunk Mike Pence, dunk Mike Pence."
I mean, we laugh to not cry sometimes. This is how crazy it is. This is how disengaged from reality these people are. And I'm going back to the comment I read on that article on the last show. Oh, I'd stand by any MAGA if they were going to go against Trump and this and that. Blah blah blah. It's like, I would stand alongside any MAGA to fight the corporations and the billionaires and this and that. I'm like, first of all, the MAGA, this elusive, invisible MAGA you're referring to, they're standing next to the billionaires. They support the billionaires. And you're going to stand next to, right, okay. If you're MAGA, you're not going to stand against the billionaires or the corrupt corporations. You're just not. Not going to happen. Anyway, what are any last thoughts before I get into the articles? Because I've got a few.
No notes.
No notes?
Yeah, the reflecting pool is now green after Trump has wrecked it. He hasn't fixed the real issue, so yeah, no notes.
I was counting on you to have a few notes because, while I tap dance and think of what to say next. The thing about it is, this is what happens, and I say it at just about every show, when you elect incompetent assholes to run your government, this is the best you can hope for. This is it. NPR, which is interesting because I'm reading about the founders of National Public Radio. After DC's reflecting pool gets repainted, visitors ask, what changed? Water is flowing back into the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool after a controversial painting job kept it closed for weeks, and to many onlookers, it doesn't look much different. The pool gets completed at 4 o'clock and the water will start to flow in and it's going to be beautiful. Oh, that's Trump saying it. The pool gets completed at 4 o'clock and the water will start to flow. Beautiful, perfect, the best water, the best. And it's going to be beautiful. Next day, Doug Burgum shared the water bubbling up through a grate on the freshly darkened pool floor. Trump had the pool's surface darkened to a shade he calls American flag blue. For the last century, he said the pool was just gray, the color of concrete and stone. Okay. You say that as if it's a bad thing. By Friday morning, 2,000 foot-long shallow pool had collected a stripe of water down the middle just wide enough to reflect the Washington Monument. Across it, the refilling continued under the bright sun as one worker stood in the middle of the pool with his pants rolled up above his knees, wielding a hose. As the temperatures neared 90 degrees, tourists, cyclists, and joggers paused at the top of the nearby steps to snap photos and observe the process. Many welcomed the return of the water and the ducks that will play in it, but said they couldn't immediately tell a difference in the color. The more water it fills, the more similar it looked to before. The best case scenario, we wasted money on a paint job that didn't do shit. Someone said, I'm just happy it's not that bright blue that we saw the first days, which was so alarming. If it stays like this, it's fine. Have you been to it lately? Early renderings as well as preliminary coat of paint when the project started in late April had critics worried the historic landmark would end up looking more like a swimming pool, but Friday observers didn't find that to be the case. I'm colorblind, so it doesn't look blue yet. Why are we asking Terry Barzanti of Maryland? They're colorblind. Their opinion doesn't matter. We're looking for people who are here to comment about the color of the reflection. Okay. A coworker said, well, I'm not colorblind and it doesn't look blue. Thank you. Other passengers described it as closer to black and said the difference might be more noticeable once the pool is fully refilled. Even so, blah, blah, blah. Trump's had for months complained about the state of the pool, saying he made it a priority after an unnamed friend visiting from Germany called it filthy and not representative of the country. How could a filthy pool not be representative of the country? That is an exact representation of this country. This country is filthy. This country is dirty, and it stinks. And I'm not talking about the physical look or the smell of it either. So, yeah, what happened to the reflecting pool is, dare I say, perfect. It's exactly what we deserve. Trump said, it's going to last for 50 to 100 years before you have to do anything with it. As soon as your fat ass is out of the White House, you bet your damn, you fuck off. A lot of things are going to have to get fixed. Unbelievable. 50 to 100 years. It didn't even last a month. Incompetent sons of bitches. And the article goes on, but you can read about it. It's going to be in the description. Someone said, well, it's kind of sad where our tax dollars are going. I mean, it was fine before. Why are we changing it now? It's not clear how much of the money is coming from taxpayers. A large sign affixed to the construction site fence on National Park Service letterhead informed visitors that these improvements are being completed using your fee dollars. What? National Park Service. You're saying the National Park Service, $14.5 million. I'm not buying it. After everything is taken care of, after all the employees are paid, after all of whatever the park has to do, you're going to tell me they had $14 million just lying around waiting to be spent. Get the fuck gone. And then he complains about Barack Obama. Oh, he spent millions upon millions of taxpayer-funded Great Recession recovery aid that should have gone to struggling families. Motherfucker, you could have given the $14 million to struggling families now. You haven't even given anything to struggling families. Since when has the Trump administration given a damn about struggling families? Help me out. The 2-year renovation of the reflecting pool that ended in 2012 was funded by $34 million from an Obama-era economic stimulus package. $34 million from 2015 to now. That's 10 years. And Donald Trump decided to make improvements that weren't even called for. We have many monuments and fountains all over Washington, and we're just about completed with all of them. The Interior Department referred NPR to a White House post. 500 instances of graffiti removed. 134 rat-resistant trash cans installed. 250 truckloads of debris from the pond removed. Does anybody even believe that? The Trump administration lies about everything. Number one. Oh, what? Who the fuck cares? Yeah, blah 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 blah. Yeah, right. I don't trust a thing coming out of this administration. So
Me
fuck
neither.
off.
They lie about everything.
Let's go to Wired. Why the reflecting pool is full of algae after Trump's renovation. Because Trump was in charge of the renovation. That's why. You let an incompetent ass in charge of it who doesn't know fuck all about anything. Look at the state of his properties. Look at the state of his hotels and his casinos. I'm sorry. Did we just forget about that? Do you know how nasty and disgusting his hotels and casinos were right before they closed down? I'm talking about the Taj Mahal. Warm weather has fueled a bloom that the U.S. National Park Service workers are trying to kill using everything from hydrogen peroxide to nanobubbles ahead of the July 4th celebrations. This is, I'm telling you what, this is going to cost way more, a lot more than $14 million. Workers, on Wednesday morning, workers poured hydrogen peroxide into the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. The treatment is the latest attempt by the Interior Department to control an algae bloom that has turned the pool bright green, despite President Donald Trump's costly renovation to make it American flag blue. Hot temperatures and climate change are among the risk factors that could be driving the outbreak. The Trump administration spent more than $14 million to update the pool ahead of the celebration across the U.S. Capitol. The work was done under a no-bid contract by a company that has never worked for the federal government. It has, however, worked on President Trump's golf courses. I'm already concerned. The fact that they're connected to his fucking golf courses. Let me see. One more time. A riff in the pool. Oh, there's a whole lot of stuff in the pool. Algae began forming less than a day after the updated pool was unveiled last week. The bloom was due to residual algae and supply lines, which have been sitting dormant for 8 weeks. Like, they don't have, my God. It's like, don't you have a flushing mechanism, a flushing process? Isn't there a way to treat pipes before they become algae ridden? One of the issues appears to be the water source. Oh, you don't say. The reflecting pool usually draws water from a nearby tidal basin, which is often filled with algae. During periods with high amounts of algae, the water supply switches the municipal drinking water. The U.S. Interior Department didn't immediately respond to a question from Wired about which water source is currently feeding the pool. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Another issue is the weather. High temperatures created a perfect storm for algae to bloom. Lakes and reservoirs around the world, they all have this problem during this time of year. He also points out another related driver that the Trump administration has shown it's not in a rush to resolve: climate change. You don't say. It's just getting hotter, and these blooms are expanding globally. They're moving up to higher altitudes. It's clear temperature effects allowing them to optimize their growth. Beyond the hydrogen peroxide, the Interior Department is deploying high-tech nanobubble ozone technology to keep algae at bay. Trump has touted the work on the pool, which includes painting it blue, fixing leaks, while also saying the company the government hired would be able to do the repairs in much less time for much less money. The Obama administration spent $34 million on a 2-year renovation of the pool in the early 2010s. The Biden administration, meanwhile, did not do any major renovation. Trump has falsely said that both administrations spent hundreds of millions of dollars on the pool. That is the only number he knows. Have you noticed that? Hundreds of millions, hundreds of millions, hundreds of millions. It's all he says. He doesn't know shit. Which isn't true. And I tell you what, by the time this is all said and done, the cost of keeping this water clean in time for the celebration in July, it is going to far surpass $34 million. Earmark this statement. I will be shocked if I'm wrong. The $14 million, that was chum change. That was the initial paint job. I didn't even want to know what this other treatment costs. 2 weeks ago, the anniversary celebration, it remains to be seen if the pool will be blue in time for the country's big birthday. Yeah, you might as well just drain it and start over again. And then treat it as you refill it. There's an idea. Treat the water as you refill it. Incompetent assholes. That's what we're dealing with. Aerial photo. This is from USA Today. Aerial photos show green reflecting pool damaged south lawn. Yeah, remember the MMA fight they had at the White House this past week? Does that ring a bell? Yeah. The lawn still hasn't recovered. And it's going to take years to recover that. Turning it into a trailer trash event is what they did. The aerial photo taken by a passenger of a commercial plane descending into Washington, D.C. this week captured several ongoing renovations across the city. The photo taken June 16th, that was 2 days ago, shows the algae-ridden Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, the damaged White House South Lawn following the UFC Freedom 250 fight, and a covering of the National Mall, which someone wrote 8647. The latter triggered an investigation from the U.S. Park Police. How dare you, sir? Department of the Department of the Interior completed work on the reflecting pool earlier this month. However, the renovations have left the pool algae green significantly less desirable than the American flag blue color. Look at this shit. This is an embarrassment. I don't know about you. This should embarrass all of us. A puke green reflecting pool. Meanwhile, on the South Lawn, the White House announced June 16 that Scott's Miracle Grow and the National Park Service will work to restore the grass following the UFC fight. God damn. Because we're here, God damn it. Let's go to the USA Today. Last article. And then I'm sorry, but talking about this, looking at these goddamn pictures, I just want to throw up.
It's infuriating that the Trump administration has done something so blatantly disrespectful for something so historically significant. You know, it is so disrespectful what they have done, and it is even more disrespectful to try and blame the Obama administration, even the Biden administration, for what's going on in the reflecting pool today. If certain problems were fixed in the first place, the pool wouldn't be looking like algae-ridden green soup.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a whole bunch of Shreks just came to the pool and threw up in it. I mean, ugh. It's just an embarrassment, you know? This country is an embarrassment. So this was from Michelle Del Rey. Here's what I noticed. The Lincoln Memorial continues to mirror the Washington Monument after over a month. On June 8th, I visited the memorial and observed the progress, blah, 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 blah. The complaint took issue with the basin's color, which the organization said had been a signature feature of the pool since its opening in 1924. The reflecting pool basin was previously achromatic and gray. And it did a beautiful job reflecting. These are old pictures, you know? The prior color created the illusion of greater depth and more profound reflection. And this was cited by the National Park Service Cultural Landscape Report back in 1999. The American flag blue, or a dark navy, the agency said the color would improve the color's reflectivity compared to the existing gray concrete. How is that working? Is it reflecting any better? The concrete, the agency said, collects algae and turns to a slimy gray. Before the concrete bottom, the pool was a black asphalt. At points, the water had been dyed to improve the reflection. Yeah, dye the water. If you want better reflection, just dye the water. No one says you can't do that. On Monday, the pool offered a decent reflection of the monument as it continues to be filled with water. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, anyway, this is just, I'm just going to let you read this article on your own. I really don't. I mean, it's kind of fun. But yeah, it just makes you want to hide your head in shame, you know? This is what the Trump administration is spending its time on. But here, let's switch gears. Here's what the Trump administration is spending its time on doing. It's suing the world's leading trans medical group, alleging financial blackmail of parents. The Trump administration took the next step in its attack on gender-affirming care for trans youth on Wednesday, filing a lawsuit against the World Professional Association for Transgender Health, the leading global organization focused on transgender health and the primary developer of clinical guidelines for gender-affirming medicine. The complaint filed in U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas follows an earlier Federal Trade Commission investigation of WPATH over the same claims in the lawsuit, which accuses the 46-year-old organization of defrauding parents for the financial benefit of healthcare professionals. Imagine if they had decided to laser beam focus on insurance companies that were defrauding their own customers, withholding, basically stopping doctors from performing life-saving surgeries on people by denying health claims. You know? No, they're not going to focus on that. They're going to focus on on gender-affirming care. Today, the FTC filed a lawsuit against WPATH, alleging that the organization has made false and unsubstantiated claims regarding the necessity, effectiveness, and safety of puberty blockers, hormones, and sex change surgeries. First of all, puberty blockers are used by underage girls because if you undergo puberty at too early of an age, if you're too young, that can hurt you down the road. So the puberty blockers delay the puberty process until a later date. So imagine a 6 or an 8-year-old, their body starts to undergo puberty at such an early age. That's where puberty blockers come in and hormone treatments. It keeps the child from getting damaged and hurt. And it is a temporary blocker. It only works as long as the medicine is received. Yeah, so Ken Paxton, a MAGA loyalist who was endorsed by President Trump in his bid for a U.S. Senate seat, signed on to the suit in his role as the state's attorney general. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read what he had to say. Yeah. It's just disgusting what these people are doing. According to the FTC, parents in search of life-saving treatment for their children are dupes in a decade-long grift perpetrated by doctors associated with WPATH and the organization itself. Doctors' characterization of gender-affirming care as life-saving is only a means of forcing insurance companies to pay for the treatments. Therefore, there it is. That's the whole point. Getting insurance companies off the hook so that they don't have to pay for these operations and these treatments. There it is. Say less. I know what you're up to now. And if we allow this to stand, we're allowing more power for insurance companies to deny even more claims. You know, what happens to a woman who has breast cancer? She's going to need gender-affirming care for that, now won't she? But you've already let the insurance companies the power to deny claims. What's to say that they won't do it then? Huh? What's to say? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But yeah, this is what we're reduced to. Giving more power to these fucking corporations. 2 organizations sued in February claiming the FTC was retaliating against each of its protected speech in support of medical caring for trans youth. The judge in the case agreed, granting preliminary injunction in May that halted both investigations, which he characterized as based on retaliatory motive. Yeah, because that's what it is. Mm-hmm. A 2024 youth study found that 97% of trans youth didn't regret transitioning, even a decade after receiving such care. And another study that same year found that only 1% of trans teens detransitioned. A 2023 study also found that HRT improves mental health for trans youth. Yeah. Here's another LGBTQ article. We've got time. Last 5 minutes of the show. Most LGBTQ plus people say they're hiding more at work as corporate America is dialing back support. Corporate America, you can count on corporate America to side with fascists every single time. Even though they know they've got the studies to prove that by dialing back their support of LGBTQ, it actually costs the company money in the long run, a lot of money. A new poll coinciding with Pride Month indicates that LGBTQ plus employees are feeling the same chill. The current administration's attack on DEI and the community itself are having an American society more broadly, with a majority of LGBTQ workers saying they are now self-censoring at work. 62% of LGBTQ plus employees have noticed at least one meaningful change in how their employers communicate about LGBTQ plus staff or issues, including more cautious language, more focus on legal compliance than belonging, and less internal or public communication around diversity and LGBTQ issues. This is what going backwards looks like. The findings suggest that LGBTQ plus support at work is not disappearing in one dramatic move. Instead, many employees see it becoming quieter, more cautious, and less visible. That silence is starting to affect how workers judge their employers. Corporate silence does not feel neutral. When companies get quieter about LGBTQ plus support, their workers may read that as a signal about whether leadership will stand by them when the conversation gets harder. That can affect how open they feel at work, how much they trust leadership, and whether they see a future at the company. Yeah, it's not just about losing customers, it's about losing valuable employees. The poll surveyed more. So the dialed back support from the top has employees self-censoring. Employees say that they have self-censored or changed their behavior because of the current social and political climate around LGBTQ issues at work. That includes avoiding personal conversations, staying quiet when LGBTQ issues come up, or becoming more careful about what they share with coworkers. Four in 10 employees say a workplace conversation about issues that impact LGBTQ plus employees are declining or never even started. A company's reaction to the current political climate affects LGBTQ plus employees' trust in their workplace. 80% of LGBTQ plus employees say they are less likely to trust a company that becomes quieter about their issues. Inclusion, and 68% say they would leave a company if they felt it no longer supported LGBTQ plus employees. Less support could translate to loss in talent, as well as other staff concerned about how their company supports all employees. So the most marginalized demographic, one of the most marginalized, because I'll tell you what, if the way they treat LGBTQ plus goes down, guess what? They're going to start treating you less. And I'm talking about the straight heterosexuals. It's going to turn around on you. It always does. 62% say that their workplace treatment says something about how it treats employees overall, while the same numbers say that they trust leadership more when inclusion efforts are consistent, even during a backlash. That means even during MAGA temper tantrums. Support for LGBTQ plus colleagues is a broader signal of how the company treats people overall. For employers, that is not just about Pride Month or internal communications. It is about trust, leadership credibility, and whether employees believe the company's values hold up under pressure. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. You know what? because it's Pride Month, I'm going to include this article that I just read in the description. So please feel free to read that in your spare time if you wish. It's going to be there. But yeah, we're moving backwards as a society. And it just keeps going. Keeps going, keeps going. Any comments? Anything to add?
No.
P?
No. We need to be going forward as a society. It's time to sort of put hatred and racism in the past where it belongs. And I hope the next administration can fix the pea soup that is now the reflecting pool. That's all the notes I've got. And I need to pee really badly.
All right, with that, we are out of here. Heart says I love you. Kidney says gotta go. Anyway, with that being said, we want to thank you so much for joining the Skeptically Speaking podcast. You never know what we're going to talk about. It's just, hey, it's just, how the cookie crumbles. But just whatever you do, if you're feeling the need, don't think about water pools, waterfalls, or the reflecting pool. That would be not good for you. Anyway.
I am going to bite your ass. I am going to bite your ass. Okay.
With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in and not tuning out. And with the exit music, we're going to see you later. Bye-bye.
Yes. And be safe for Juneteenth.
Yes.
Catch you all later. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Why'd you leave the piece up on the table? Here you go, create another fable. You wanted to grab a brush and put a little makeup. You wanted to act disgusted later when the shake up. You wanted to. Why'd you leave the piece up on the table? You wanted to. I don't think you trust in my self-righteous suicide. I cry when angels deserve to die. In my self-righteous suicide. I cry when angels deserve to die. I commend my spirit, Father, into your hands. Why have you forsaken me? In your eyes forsaken me. In your thoughts forsaken me. In your heart forsaken me. Oh, trust in my self-righteous suicide. I cry when angels decide.